Hang on. We got a question here from Petrov. What's the next game Sony's going to release on Xbox? I don't believe they're going to be releasing any other games on Xbox. I think Xbox has signaled that going forward, they will be Windows gaming devices. And if they're Windows gaming devices, there is no Xbox to port to.
Oh, is that what Sarah Bond said?
It'll be a device that can just load up Steam, which means you'll be able to play ports of PlayStation games there. I don't think PlayStation's signaling day and date on other platforms. I don't think they're signaling moving their games to other platforms. They have signaled that they are going to continue doing what they've been doing.
Putting games on other platforms.
Which is prioritizing their platform first with their tentpole titles.
Oh, no.
Multi-plat. So they're PC day and date. China Hero projects will be PC day and date.
Oh, and you see, here goes the cope. Oh, China Hero projects, a live service will be day and date. I mean, they got all these excuses, and he keeps on talking about signaling. He's acting like he's ET or some shit, like he's got a Sony antenna. What do you mean signaling? They're not saying shit. They're just putting games on other platforms. Why are we still coping, Lono?
And in the future, if you own an Xbox device, it'll be a Windows gaming device, which, as far as we can tell, PlayStation is signaling they don't care if you access their games through Steam on those devices.
I thought they were going to block it.
I don't think they're going to care. I originally thought they would. I thought they would care and they would say no to that. I think they're signaling the opposite. I think.
Yeah, because you're a fanboy and you think that console etiquette controls pretty much, you know, the business decisions behind all this. So you actually thought that Sony was going to say no to Steam money. And it seems like you're still coping thinking that Sony's going to say no to putting games on other platforms. Like, you're still trying to pretend like they're not multi-platform. This is insane.
They're signaling we don't care. I don't think they view those.
What do you mean they're signaling we don't care? All they did was just Red Rover, send Helldivers right over. What are you talking about? They're not signaling. What signals are you seeing? It's like he's got telepathy or some shit. Like him and Sony share a special connection. You know, like, what is this guy talking about?
Devices is a threat to their goals. Like, they don't view, think of it this way. Steam Deck's in the market right now. ROG Ally's in the market right now. Lenovo Go. These are all in the market right now. Right? Classified as handheld consoles. That's what they're, like, labeled on.
Oh, but you were just coping a few minutes ago saying that the new Xboxes are going to be Windows devices. So which one is it? Because it looks like you did a little bit of research and now you know that they're considered consoles, right? So you, I guess you realize how stupid you've been sounding this past month fighting that tooth and nail. This guy right here, man.
A lot of the websites. I don't think they view those as a threat. I don't think they're worried about like you buying one of those and playing their games through Steam. Number one.
Yeah, because they'd get money.
Their performance is nowhere near what you can expect to get from a base PS5 or a Pro. Like
False.
Playing God of War Ragnarok or Forbidden.
Now, granted, I wouldn't go... I haven't tried any of those games because I played most of them on my PC, but a lot of the times I'm able to get around 60 frames or at least get a locked 45 frames. Like, a lot of the games, like I think The Last of Us Part 2, all of them are quote-unquote great on Steam Deck. Now, sometimes they'll say that and it won't be great on Steam Deck, but... nonetheless, a lot of the PlayStation Studios games, because you know they're a third-party publisher and they put their games on Steam. A lot of their games are quote unquote great on Steam Deck. So I don't know what he's talking about.
West on any of those devices doesn't hold a candle to what this.
They're good on Forbidden West.
Those games run on an actual PlayStation 5 or Pro or on a high-end PC rig. So I don't think they see them as a threat in the least bit. If Xbox starts throwing their logo on those same devices like they are with the ROG Ally.
Throwing their logo. I mean, the salt, it's just slowly, it's sipping out. And I'm catching every drop of it. Pause.
This year, I don't think PlayStation cares. I don't think they are bothered by that at all. They don't view it as a threat. It won't saturate the market enough to matter. It won't even come close to the...
And this is the thing that I see with the PlayStation fanboys. I've seen them in my comments talking about this. They always like to talk about console sales. Like, that is the end all be all. And don't get me wrong. I do think being able to sell your product matters. But it doesn't need to sell 80 million for it to be considered a success, right? The Steam Deck, I think it's sold anywhere between like 2 million, 4 million. Nobody who owns a Steam Deck sees it as a failure. Nobody in the Steam community sees the Steam Deck as a failure. It's a niche product. but nobody sees it as a failure. If you look at the community support for the thing, if you look at, for example, if something was to break like a joystick or you start to get stick drift or whatever, it's really easy to replace it. Not only is it easy to replace it, it's easy for you to find one to replace it with online, get it delivered to you quickly. There's hundreds of thousands of videos that will show you how to easily do it. It's a very supported device. It's a very appreciated device. To sit here and act like, oh, it's not going to saturate the market. Like, it just shows for these guys, gaming is like a popularity thing. Like, they want to be with the most popular console. It's like a popularity thing for them.
Performance thresholds that actually matter for their games to look at their best. I just don't think so. I see no signs of change. If things change, they'll signal it.
You see no signs of change. If things change, they'll signal it. No, they won't. They'll just do it. They got guys like you who will AstroTurf.
I'll cover it. I'll say what they said. I won't shy away from that if it happens.
No, you won't, because that's what you're doing right now. People are asking you what's the next game because we already know how this goes, right? We already seen the just 4 games, and you're pretty much doubling down and you're saying just 1 game. Like I said, if you ask me, I think that's way worse than the Xbox when they were saying just 4 games. Granted, that's what Phil Spencer told them. You keep on talking about signaling. That's why I'm saying, like, he must have some type of secret power. What signals are you reading, brother? Like, this guy is crazy.
As it stands right now, there is no signal from PlayStation that the plan is changing. So. And Xbox goals seem to be very, very counter to that even being a potential reality. As they said, Windows is what they want to be the biggest gaming platform. If that's their goal going forward,
then who owns Windows?
There is no traditional Xbox in the future. It'll be a Windows gaming device. And a Windows gaming device can load Steam, therefore it could load a...
But I mean, the head of hardware said that they're going to continue to make consoles. Now, granted, it's going to be different because it's going to be the first open platform console. All of these guys love to cope. So we're right back at the same cope of, oh, it's not going to be a console. Even though he said himself that he looked up the miniature handheld PCs and see that they were listed as consoles. They're just talking in circles. I mean, you guys need to get new updates. Where's the new patch? When are we going to get the new pony patch? I mean, these talking points are getting tired at this point.
Port of a PlayStation game, therefore, there is no version of a PlayStation game that would be ported to a quote-unquote Xbox. Also, if you look at their titles going forward, whether it's Yote, Spider-Man 2, or like Sorrows or Intergalactic.
See, he had to really rack his brain right there. It's been a drought. There's not a lot of games. I get it, Lono. I know it's tough.
Okay, let's just think about the strategy here. Do any of those titles look like they would want to port them to the Xbox Series S?
What type of question is that? Do any of those titles look like they want to be ported to the Series S? What does that mean? Does it look like a video game? Is that what you're asking me? If a game looks like a game? I mean, these guys are delusional. And this is the logician, ladies and gentlemen. Like, here he goes again, just saying anything.
I just don't think so. Like, if you look at Yote, PS5 only, Spider-Man 2, PS5 only, Sorrows, Intergalactic, and then the future, right? Like Wolverine, and like. There doesn't really, a business model doesn't really fit with looking backwards and being like, well, let's port to that platform that is not a competitor anymore.
Oh, yeah, looking backwards, because Lord knows the PS5 is just light years ahead of everything else that's available in the market. I mean, the way these guys glaze Sony, they really think these games are just the best thing ever until they come to PC and the best version is actually available. I mean, these guys keep on fucking glazing that damn pisser, boy. Let that shit rest.
Saturation's terrible and shrinking. Oh, and we'd have to compromise our game. We'd have to lower things, turn things off, harm performance, harm reception.
Is that what they had to do with the Doom the Dark Ages?
Oh, all while basically abandoning something that helped us win this gen, abandoning the idea of exclusivity to our console.
Yeah, you guys won your ass right on the Xbox. I mean, these guys stay coping talking about won the gen with console sales. You won, all right. You won your way right on the Xbox.
I don't see it happening. It wouldn't make an ounce of sense.
Just like Helldivers 2 didn't make an ounce of sense to you and Colin Moriarty, right?
So, I could be wrong.
I mean, maybe you guys just don't have business sense. Yeah, you could be wrong.
I mean,
yeah.
I didn't think there was any business sense in putting Helldivers 2 on Xbox, and PlayStation seems to disagree.
Yeah, maybe that's just not your thing, right? Because you forget the fact that businesses like money. You forget the most important aspect of business. Like, that just goes right over your head. Yeah.
Live service games play according to different rules.
Oh,
I always said.
So it's just one game. It's just live service games. I mean, these guys. I was so ready, right? I'm not gonna lie. I was anticipating it when I seen Helldivers go over. I thought I was gonna get all this news about damaging the ecosystem and all this shit, but it's just gone all out the window. Now it's just one game. Now it's just live service games. I mean, these guys are full of shit, man.
I was in support of it going over there. I always said more players is better. I always said live service games live and die by the player funnel. So since the beginning, when people asked me about Helldivers, I was like, I think it'd be great if it went over there.
Oh, that's what you said, but I mean, your actions, your tone, and your demeanor says otherwise.
I just didn't see the business reason for it.
Money. Money. I swear. This guy's ridiculous.
What did Brett say? It's like asking when PlayStation will port to Sega just because the brand still exists. Yeah. Yeah,
because Sega, they're coming out with consoles. They just partnered with AMD, right? They're bringing out a handheld to the market. Like I said, the talking points, they're just tired. They tired, boss. Let them rest. Update them. Where's the patch? Call Mark Cerny. Can we get an update? Can we get a patch on these talking points?
I tend to agree with that. I just think that the shift just continues to happen. And I just think people are. I really feel like they're holding pieces of a sandcastle in their hand.
Oh, that's you.
It's all gone.
Projecting you with exclusivity. That's you. That's quite literally you guys. You're the one sitting there saying China Hero Project, day and date, PC tentpole strategy, day and date. You're the one sitting here coping, talking about consoles exclusives and shit, saying it's just one game. You're the one holding on to sand. The party's over, Lono.
That entire idea is gone. I just think people are still operating underneath the old mantras and the old rules about like, there's some competition between the platforms, and I just don't see it. I don't see there being any competition between the platforms at all.
This guy.
Nick's Vapor with 9 months, dude. Welcome back. We were sitting on exactly 100 for a while there. That's Agent.
Okay, so a little soft begging. I know there was some more salt. We're gonna get right into that.
Family games. PC handhelds don't compete with the Switch 2. I just think that as far as I can tell, the future is 3 very different brands with 3 very different identities and offerings.
Oh, I disagree, Lono. I think there's one brand that has a different identity, but I think the 2 other brands, I think it's King Von would say, R.I.P. Evil Twin.
So this idea that, like, think of it this way. Have you guys ever seen like a hardcore Nintendo fan say that this is where the industry's going? Have you ever seen that? That would be weird, right? It would be weird for a Nintendo fan to say this is where the industry's going. Like, imagine.
You know what else I've never heard a Nintendo fan say? I've never heard a Nintendo fan say, this is a console exclusive. I've never heard a Nintendo fan say timed exclusivity. That would be weird, right? That would be weird.
Let's say I'm a really hardcore Nintendo fan, and I say, yeah, this is where the industry's going. The next PlayStation's going to be a handheld hybrid, and they're going to lean more into lower graphic fidelity games and more family games.
I love how we're hiding behind Nintendo. We're not going to let you do this, Lono. MBG tried to do the same thing a couple days ago. Like, now you guys want to hide behind Nintendo. Now you guys want to indirectly bring up Nintendo so you can talk about how their business models still works, right? Don't get me wrong, right? With all the shit that Nintendo's doing, you know, it's fuck Nintendo. But still, Nintendo is the last of the Mohicans. Nintendo is who these guys pretend to be. So, of course, you're going to bring up their business model, right? But we all know what you're trying to do, Lono. Now he wants to talk about Nintendo. Boy, please, we want to hear about you guys, Mr. First Place, right? The guys who won the gen, right? The guys who talk about console sales. Where's all that at?
Now, that would be incredibly stupid for me to say that, would it not? because there's no signal from PlayStation that they're doing that. Mark Cerny has signaled the relationship with Project Amethyst. The future is, better performance, better fidelity, bigger games. They're clearly prioritizing the big graphically intensive games.
Oh, yeah, and you're going to get one tentpole title a year. You get one tentpole.
The tentpole titles, they're seemingly centered around their strategy. That's what it feels like a lot of the times to me, is it's like you're coming from one side of the market and you're saying, well, this is where the industry's going. And it's like, that's just because that's where your favorite brand is going. Saying that as a hardcore Nintendo fan, you'd get laughed at.
And this is what I mean. You have to invoke Nintendo in this conversation. Nintendo, you can go sit this one out because you guys actually have exclusives. But like I said, those two other brands that are very identical to each other, they don't really have exclusives anymore, right? One of them has timed exclusives, right? And we all see how that's going. They just sent the game over to Xbox. They really want to hide behind Nintendo. They thought they could sneak it right past the goalposts. Like, boy, please. We know Nintendo's the last of the Mohicans. We're talking about you guys.
Without any conversation, because it's very clear Nintendo's just kind of doing its own thing.
Yes. Very much.
Nintendo's just doing its own thing. Nintendo's got their mark.
Yes, all the shit that you guys talk about, they actually do it. They actually walk that walk. All you guys do is just flap your fucking gums. They actually do that shit. From buying games to all that shit, to having exclusives, right? Like I said, never heard them say no damn console exclusive. And I didn't hear them getting worried, getting their panties in a bunch when Microsoft announced that they're going to be able to play Steam on their devices. You know why Nintendo guys didn't worry? Because none of their games are on Steam.
They've got their approach. They've got their product, which was a pretty big risk in many people's minds. It paid off very big. They've got their IP. They've got the way they handle their games. That is its own identity, its own product, its own brand. And PlayStation's very, very distinct from what Nintendo is doing.
Yes, we know.
Imagine the other way. Imagine like a hardcore PlayStation fan saying, this is where the industry's going. The next Nintendo is going to be a really, really high fidelity box. It will no longer be a hybrid handheld. They're going to focus on big, tentpole, narrative-driven, graphically intensive titles. That would be an incredibly stupid and bonehead prediction to say. You would sound like an idiot. Because it's clearly demonstrated by Nintendo, they're not doing that. They're not prizing that. They're not investing in that. They're not signaling that to anybody.
And this whole hypothetical conversation, he likes to talk about platitudes. Like, this is a nothing burger. No one would ever say that. You are right about that. What's the point of invoking this conversation? This is his way of pretty much saying that all of these different companies have their own strategies. But the fact of the matter is, Xbox and PlayStation, their strategies are starting to look more and more similar, and you want to dance around that. That's why you want to bring Nintendo into the mix. And I'm not going to lie, man, to be honest, it's pathetic coming from the logician, man.
So to take what PlayStation's doing and try to project that on to Nintendo, be like, well, yeah, that's what Nintendo's going to do, it sounds idiotic to say. Just like saying, well, what Nintendo is doing is what everybody else is going to do. Everybody else is going to do a hybrid handheld, and they're going to go to less graphics.
I mean, it's funny that you say that because Xbox is making a handheld. From what I heard, PlayStation's working on a handheld. I mean, it seems like the handheld market is starting to come back to life. I mean, come on, bro.
Intensive games and family games. That would sound dumb. Oh, well, let's now apply it to the third brand. Well, I don't have to apply it to the third brand.
The third brand. What's the third brand? What's the third brand? Why don't you say the name, Lono?
People that cheer for that brand have been doing
that cheer for that brand. Oh, boy, you're so butthurt. And this is what I mean. That's why it's so easy to see through what you're doing. You wear your heart on your sleeve, but you try to act like you're tactical. You try to act like you're fueled by just facts and logic and data. It's not the case. That's why seeing you struggle like this, I'm not gonna lie, it's been very enjoyable. quite literally one of my favorite pastimes.
That for 2 years, they have been claiming that what Xbox is doing is what everybody else is going to be doing, and guess what? It sounds just as dumb as.
No, it doesn't, and I'm so glad it took you 5 minutes. Here we are. All of that preamble, all of that useless prattle for what? To get to this specific moment to say that Sony and Xbox aren't doing the same thing. False. I mean, Xbox started putting their games on PC. Now, granted, Xbox started doing it day and date, But now Lost Soul Aside's done entered the chat. You guys are doing it day and date too. Same thing with Helldivers. And there's been multiple games that's gone over to Xbox. And there's been games that gone over to Nintendo. Evil Twin. And instead of you standing on business, instead of you giving sermons like you were before about the death of an ecosystem, this is the shit that you have to do now that the party's up. And it's going to be fun watching you tap dance.
When you say it about Nintendo or when you say it about PlayStation, none of these companies are the same. None of these companies have the same approach. They all have distinct identities. They have distinct brands. They have distinct marketing approaches. They have distinct audiences, I think, target audiences. Not a one of them is copying the other in totality. Like, nobody is shifting to be like, we need to do what Nintendo's doing. Nobody's shifting and being like, we need to do what PlayStation is doing. Nobody is shifting and saying, well, we need to do what Xbox is doing. Nobody's doing that.
Cap, you don't think that Sony didn't see how well Forza sold and said, shit, we got some old games that we can sell? I mean, that's what it looks like to me, right? I mean, you don't think that they didn't see how Microsoft started putting their games on PC day and date and said, I mean, would it really be that bad if we did the same thing? But instead, you want to sit here and cope, and you'll sit here and talk about, Xbox content creators and how they just parrot talking points. You are literally sitting here saying tentpole strategies, China hero project, and all this shit. It's a lie. This is why we can't take you seriously, because you had all that fire, all that smoke for Microsoft. But when it's Sony, it's always different. With these PlayStation guys, whenever it comes to Sony, it's always different, even when they do the exact same thing as Microsoft. And that's even down to the layoffs. These guys are just disingenuous.
You're going to have three very clear value offers. You are. You're going to have three very distinct value offers. The Switch.
Well, it's funny that you say that, because it's looking like Xbox, right? The Xbox console is going to be able to have access to all of it, except for Nintendo. But I mean, you can emulate, right, if you know where to go. But I'm not going to say anything else because I don't want my door to get kicked in. I mean, I don't know, man. It's looking like all roads lead to PC. It looks like Xbox has realized that.
Switch 2 and beyond, if they decide to do another one in 7 or 8 years, right? They decide to do a Switch 3. You're going to have the Nintendo Switch environment. Hybrid, more of the casual, more like the family-oriented gaming. You're at the PlayStation. PlayStation's pushing tech. The relationship between AMD and PlayStation is signaling that they care about the tech. The recent rumors about GTA 6, 60 FPS, seem to signal.
And there we go with the Colin Moriarty Detective Seeds bullshit. Meanwhile, we could actually have Sarah Bond step out and tell these guys that they're going to be making consoles, but we won't discredit that. Proceed with caution, but dive in head first when you hear fucking anything that Herman Holt says.
That is a play that they're making as well to be the premier platform for GTA 6 gameplay. And then Xbox is moving into a more ecosystem publisher role, where
like PlayStation.
They have a cascade of access points to their ecosystem. Handheld, smart TV, PCs. They're going to launch these Windows gaming devices that will not at all look like a traditional.
Now, that is one thing I will say that is unique to the Xbox brand, how they have a whole bunch of access points. But I think that's good for the consumer, honestly.
Console. So those are going to be your three brands, your three offers. And as far as I can tell, not one of these companies is going to be chasing the other. They're all doing something very different.
No one's saying that one is chasing the other. What we're saying is they're copying each other's flow. They're implementing similar tactics. And when one company implemented a certain tactic, everybody went up into an uproar. Everybody said this was going to be the death of the console. This was the death of the ecosystem. Now, when we see PlayStation mirroring those same tactics, all we're getting is tap dancing and obfuscation. Which I'm going to be honest, I actually kind of expected it, if I'm going to be serious.
So like I said, it never, that's why I think when we were having the debates and I was getting frustrated and it was really bothering me.
Yeah, because you were getting cooked and you were wrong and you were uninformed on the situation.
It's so liberating to be like, I'm not going to debate with that stuff anymore. I'm just going to say what it is. It's like, this is just.
Yeah, you're not going to talk. You're just going to lock yourself away in your echo chamber, and you're going to say things that is factually incorrect. Just like how you were trying to low-key say that they're moving away from the console space when they've literally said that they're going to continue to make consoles. I don't know how there's any other way for you to phrase that. So you'll just see an Xbox guy say they're a bleed green guy and you know, have them dealt with. You know what I mean? And have them thrown out the back door. I mean, we all know your game, Lono. We're all familiar
Marketing.
with it.
This is not a genuine position. This isn't thought out. It's not logical. It's not based on business analysis. None of that. It's marketing.
Oh boy, but you're the one talking about signals and shit. Like you're a damn sign reader or some shit. Like you got some type of telepathy. I don't want to hear about business analysis, dog. Like you've destroyed any type of credibility to say that you look at things from that lens. All the stupid shit that you've said the past few months, shit, the past few years.
It's marketing.
We're back coping about the marketing, I see.
It's probably your marketing, Haseo. With this many people, if we were having some oddities, I'd be getting a lot of people say it. Guys, do me a favor and smash the like button on YouTube. Guys on purple, smash the follow button. Let's make a run for it here. Let's try to get 100 above pace.
Oh, rubbing his hands like Birdman. All right, I seen enough. Wait a minute. Like, I know we got one more. Shout out to everybody who made it this far. One more. This is the best one. This is the best for last.
Let's say Helldivers 2 does well on Xbox. Will Sony bring over more games? I just don't think so.
Oh.
I think that platform is a lame duck at this point. I think the Xbox Series X and the Series S is a lame duck in the market. I think this is a
Oh, so does PlayStation think that? Because they just ported over their only successful multiplayer game.
Chance to grab more players. I have been told by someone in the know this is a refugee strategy. The
Oh, somebody in the know. You see, all these guys claim that they have sources. Refugee strategy? I've never heard that.
PlayStation was convinced by Xbox to do this. I think PlayStation knows. Okay, think about it like this. When Herman Hulst talks about their strategy on PC, he talks about getting people to come over and buy the PlayStation 5 for a sequel.
And, you know, I'm so glad that he touched on this because I did want to bring this up. I seen that Ghost of Yote, State of Yote, whatever the hell. And all I got to say is they got to rethink that strategy, unless it's just bullshit like we know it is. Because I don't think there's anybody on PC who is watching these States of Yote who's saying, I need to go buy a PlayStation to experience this.
Okay. I think PlayStation rather rightly knows that the next 4 years, there will be significant exodus from the Xbox platform. I think they know this.
Oh, so then why did they eliminate the paywall to get to their game then? If that was the case, then they could have kept the paywall up. I mean, they've done it for all this time. You want to bring up Nintendo? I mean, Nintendo did that, right? Why isn't Nintendo lowering their paywall? Why isn't Nintendo trying to catch some of these players, right? I mean, here you go with that bullshit.
They're already getting it. They're already sensing it. Well, a really great way to get a lot of those people to consider coming over is to have them play a game that, let's say there's some PSN thing you can do.
Okay.
Well, now they got a PSN. Now they got trophies.
Oh, and if they're anything like us PC guys, they gonna say, fuck that shit. Because I know I did, and I know everyone else who did. And a lot of those games got pirated. And what did Sony say? Sony said, oh my God, the consumers, they're speaking up for themselves. And they were just like, they can do that? Yeah, they can do that. And they bent that knee real quick.
There's something to be said for that being a pretty nice bridge. I think it's one of the reasons why they were trying to require PSN on Steam. They were trying to create that cartilage between the platform. So like if you
yeah, they were trying to inflatuate their numbers. I said inflatuate. They were trying to inflate their numbers, right? To make it seem like their ecosystem was bigger than what it really was. And we said we ain't got time for that shit.
You're playing one of their games on the Steam interface and you make a PSN, you're more likely in the future to be like, well, I'll get a PlayStation. I already have
Oh,
a PSN.
what?
I got trophies, right? They did.
If I get a PSN account, I'm more likely to get a PlayStation? I mean, this is your talking points? PSNs are going to convince us to get a PlayStation? Oh my God, Lono.
Trophy overlay system on Steam. It's very possible that that's their mindset here, is like, it's a live service game, it benefits the funnel, more people going in, and it's a good refugee strategy. A lot of these people are going to be bailing on that platform going forward. I think that's just a very fair assessment to make based on what people have been saying on social media, Reddit, and other places. I think a lot of people are moving away from the brand. When I have people that aren't even in the gaming world ask me what's going on with Xbox, are they going to be doing another console in the future?
Why would people who are not in the gaming world, why would they come to you? And imagine how much you don't even know just how like booby trapped that response is going to be. Like, you literally just ran into quite possibly the worst person in the whole entire galaxy to ask about Xbox when it comes to anything. I mean, holy shit, that is like a terrible circumstance. I feel bad for anybody who falls into that trap. I feel like even the average person would just be like, bro, what's up with this guy?
Sure. It's clear that from a PR perspective and a market perspective, they're not standing very strong. So,
but they're getting games from PlayStation, man. I mean, this COPE, you heard it from Lono, man. If you get a PSN account, you're more likely to buy a PlayStation. That was a lot of COPE, but I had to get it all. You already know what time it is, man. It's been your boy Siggs and Serial. Until next time, peace.